Now let us discuss the functions of family. Family performs certain functions and which are essential for the survival of an individual. The family as a social institution perform several functions. Various opinions have been expressed regarding the functions of family. Kingsley Davis, a very prominent sociologist, Kingsley Davis speaks of four main functions of family. According to Kingsley Davis, the most important functions of family are reproduction, then maintenance, placement, and socialization. These are the most important functions of family. Then another uh, sociologists like Ogburn and Nimkov, they have mentioned about six major functions of family. Six major functions of family, like affectional function, economic function, recreational function, then protective function, then religious function, then educational function. These are the six functions of family according to Ogburn and Nimkov. Then Reed, a sociologist namely Reed, has described four functions of family: race perpetuation, then socialization, then regulation and satisfaction of sex needs, then economic functions. These are the important functions of the family system. Then McIver, another important sociologist, classifies functions of family into two types: essential functions and non essential functions. And according to McIver, the essential functions include the stable satisfaction of the sex need, protection and rearing of children, provision of home. Then, under the non essential functions, include religious function, educational function, economic function, health and recreation, and other functions. So these are the different classifications given by different sociologists with regard to the functions of family. Now let us discuss in detail about the functions of family. And functions of family are broadly two types: the primary functions and secondary functions. Some of the functions of family are basic to its continued existence. They are referred to as essential functions or primary functions by McIver. So they may also be regarded as primary functions of family, as I said just now. And they are, yeah, now let us discuss about the primary functions of family. The first function is the stable satisfaction of sex need. Sex drive is powerful in human beings, and the sex need is irresistible among human beings. So family and marriage systems fulfill the sexual needs of the individuals. So that means, according to the values, norms, and morals of the society, a human being is supposed to fulfill his biological needs or sexual needs only through the family and marriage system. Then, second one is reproduction or procreation. Reproduction means giving birth to the children through the institutions of family and marriage. So family system and marriage system not only fulfill the needs, sexual needs of the individuals, but it also lead to the reproduction of children. So by fulfilling its reproductive function, family has made it possible to have the propagation of species and the perpetuation of the human race. That means, according to the sociologists, human beings are temporary, but society is permanent. If at all society has to sustain for longer period, there is a need of race perpetuation. So it is through the family and marriage system, the race perpetuation or human race perpetuation would be possible through the reproductive function. Then the next function is the production and rearing of the child. It is the family system which fulfills the basic needs of a child. Family is considered as the first social institution for the socialization of a child. So, family system not only fulfill the basic needs of the child, but it also mold the personality of the child through proper socialization. The next one is the provision of home. Family provides the home for its members. The desire for home is strongly felt in men and women. Children are born and brought up in homes only. Even the parents who work outside and dependent on home for comfort, procreation, and peace. So therefore, it is the family system which provide the the home for all the family members. Then family, an instrument of cultural transmission and an agent of socialization. Then, as I said, family as an institution is considered as one of the most powerful instrument which transmit the cultural traits of the human society from one generation to another generation. And socialization is considered as one of the most important function of the family. The family serves as an instrument of cultural transmission. The family guarantees not only the biological continuity of the human race, but also the cultural continuity of the society, of which it is a part. It transmits ideas and ideologies, folkways and mores, customs and traditions, beliefs and values from one generation to the next generation. Then, family is an agent of socialization. As I told you, among all other agencies, family is considered as the most important agency for socialization of a child. Generally, every individual is socialized through different agencies like family, educational institutions, or we can say school, then peer group, mass media, religion. So, like that, all these institutions play a very important role in the socialization of a child. But of all, family is considered as the most important agency. Socialization is its service to the individual. Socialization is the process whereby one internalizes the norms of one's group so that a distinct self emerges unique to the individual. The family indoctrinates the child with the values, the morals, beliefs, ideals of the society. It prepares its children for participation in large world and acquaints them with a larger culture. It is a chief agency which prepares the new generation for life in community. It emotionally conditions the child. It lays down the basic plan of the personality. Indeed, it shapes the personality of the child. Family is a mechanism for disciplining the child in terms of cultural goals. In short, it transforms the infant barbarian into the civilized adult, or we can put it in another way. It is the family, along with other agencies, transform the biological being as a social and cultural being. That is one of the most important function of the family. Then, status ascribing function. The family also performs a pair of functions like status ascription for the individual and societal identification for the individual. Generally, in any given society, every individual have two types of statuses. One is the ascribed status, other one achieved status. The family provides the ascribed status. Two of these, age, sex, are biological ascriptions. Others, however, are social ascriptions. It is the family that serves almost exclusively as the conferring agency or institution. That means it is the family system which provide an identity for an individual in the society. Then affectional function. This is one of the most important function of the family. Man has his physical as well as mental needs or emotional needs. He requires the fulfillment of both of these needs. Family as an institution which provides the mental or the emotional satisfaction and security to its individual members. It is the family which provides the most intimate and the dearest relationship for all its members. The individual's first experiences affection in his parental family, as parents and siblings offer him love, sympathy, and affection. And lack of affection actually damages an infant's ability to thrive. Then, whatever the functions we have discussed so far are primary functions. Now, let us discuss about the secondary functions. The secondary functions are: first one, the economic functions. The family fulfills the economic needs of its members. This has been the traditional function of family. Previously, the family was an economic unit. Goods were produced in the family. Men used to work in family or in farms for the production of goods. Family members used to work together for this purpose. It was to a great extent self sufficient. A clear cut division of labor between sexes, that is, between men and women, was evident. But today, the situation has changed. In fact, earlier, family was considered as a unit of production, and every member of the family used to contribute for the productive activity in the family system. But however, now, as far as economic functions of the family are concerned, they have undergone change. Today, the family members do not work together at home. They are engaged in different economic activities outside the home. They are no longer held together by division of labor. But however, still the members of the family are involved in some kind of economic activity to fulfill the needs of the members of the family. The economic role of family is considerably modified, especially in modern society. The process of industrialization has affected family. The center of production has moved from home to the factory. The factory is giving job only to the individual worker and not to the entire family. The factory is producing goods which are consumed within the family. Thus, family has become more a consuming unit than a producing one. So that is why the sociologists say that the modern family is not a unit of production, but it is a unit of consumption. So family is thus slowly transferring its economic functions to the external agencies. Still, the institution of property is embedded with the family. Then, educational functions. The family provides the basis for the child's formal learning. In spite of great changes, the family still gives the child his basic training in the social attitudes and habits important to adult participation in social life. When the child grows up, he learns to manage situations outside the home and family. He extends his interests to other groups. With all this, his intelligence, his emotions, and his social habits develop until he weans himself from the original dependence on the mother, father, and other family members. That means family provide an informal kind of education which is essential for the survival of a child in the larger society. Then another important function is the religious functions. The family is a center for the religious training of the children. The children learn from their parents various religious virtues. Previously, the homes were also centers of religious quest. The family used to teach the children the religious values, moral precepts, way to worshipping God, etc. And largely, it is the family system which used to inculcate moral and ethical values in the minds of the children. Even today, it is in the family that the foundations are laid down for the moral standards that are to guide the children throughout their life. The family meets the spiritual needs of its members. It is through the family that the religious inheritance is passed on to the next generation. Then the recreational functions. At one time, recreation was largely family based. It fostered a close solidarity. Elders would organize social gathering among themselves in each other's homes. Children would organize their own recreation among themselves or together with other children. Often, parents and children would join together in the same recreational activities. But however, today, family is no more a center of uh, a center for recreational activities. Why? Because the modern recreation is not designed for family wide participation. Today, a lot of recreation is available outside the family. In olden days, all the family members used to have recreation by performing certain traditions and customs, and by celebrating certain festivals, and especially during the rituals like marriage or childbirth. All the family members used to have recreation. So now such kind of collective recreation has largely reduced, and now the family members are depending upon the recreation uh, outside the family system. And there are many other agencies which are providing the recreation for the family members. So now these are the characteristics and functions of family. So from the examination point of view, with regard to the family system, the student is supposed to understand the definition of family, characteristics of family, and functions of family. So all these are the important points related to the family system. Now let us discuss about the types or forms of the family. Sociologists have spoken of different forms or types of family. They have taken into consideration different factors as the basis for the classification of the family. Now here uh, I have presented the different types of classifications provided by the sociologists. And sociologists have taken the different criteria for the classification of the family system. Now let us discuss about these classifications. First one, on the basis of the marriage, that means by taking the marriage as a criteria, family has been classified into three types: polygamous or polygynous family, then polyandrous family, then monogamous family. So here polygamous, actually polygamy means a person having more than one spouse. That is called polygamy. And polygamy is subdivided into polygyny and polyandry. So here polygynous means a man having more than one wife. That is called polygynous family. So throughout the world, in many societies, there are certain uh, communities where man is permitted to have more than one wife, and such kind of families are known as polygynous family. Then polyandrous family. Polyandry means where the woman is permitted to marry more than one person, one man. That means where the woman is permitted to have more than one husband. That is called polyandrous family. Polyandry and polyandrous family. For example, in Indian context, Toda is a tribe which practice polyandry. So where the Toda women marry more than one man, and such kind of family is known as polyandrous family. Then monogamous. Most of the modern families are monogamous family, where one man should have only one wife, or where one woman should have only one husband. That is called monogamous family. Then another criteria is on the basis of the nature of residence. On the basis of the nature of residence, family can be divided into the family of matrilocal residence, or family of patrilocal residence, or a family of changing residence. So simply we can call it as matrilocal family and patrilocal family. Broadly, these are the two families which we can observe in modern society. Matrilocal family means where the after marriage, husband moves to the wife's place. That means where the husband lives with wife at her residence after marriage. That is called matrilocal family. So the matrilocal for matrilocal family, the best example is the Nair family. Nairs in Kerala, they practice matrilocal, matriarchal, and matrilineal system. Then, in fact, a majority of the families throughout the world are patriarchal families. Patriarchy means where the uh, man is considered as the head of the house. So patrilocal residence means where the woman goes to her husband's place after marriage, and such kind of families are known as patrilocal families. But nowadays we have neo-local families. They're called family of changing residence. They're called neo-local family. Neo-local family means after marriage, wife and husband establish their family separately at a different place. That means they neither live with the husband's family or with the wife's family. They establish their family separately in a different place. And this kind of uh, family system could be seen among the uh, migrant families, where after marriage, uh, where wife and husband migrate to the faraway places, and there they establish uh, their own family. That's called neo-local family. And in some tribal communities, there is another method or another practice called avunculocal family. Avunculocal family. Here, avunculocal family means where a man lives with his maternal uncle by marrying his maternal uncle's daughter. That is called avunculocal family. This has come from the term called avunculate. Avunculate. Avunculate means where the maternal uncle play an important role in the life of an individual. In some tribal communities, men have the responsibility to take care of his sister's children. So therefore, a person have the right to marry his mother's brother's daughter. That's nothing but marrying the maternal uncle's daughter. And they also have the right over the property of the maternal uncle. And that kind of practice is known as avunculate, or that such kind of family system is also known as avunculocal family. So this is avunculate and avunculocal family and neolocal family. Now, on the basis of ancestry or descent, family can be divided as matrilineal family and patrilineal family. This is another classification. Matrilineal family means where the lineage is traced through female line. That means through the mother. That is called matrilineal family. Again, the Nair family in Kerala is an example for matrilineal family system. Then patrilineal means where the lineage is traced through male line or through father. That is called patrilineal family. Then another classification is on the basis of the nature of authority. Family can be classified into matriarchal family and patriarchal family. Here, nature of authority. That means who is considered as the head of the household, whether a male or a female. And as I said, the Nair family is a matriarchal family where the female is considered as the head of the house. Even it is the female who have the property right. The property of the family is transferred from mother to the daughters, not to the sons. And this practice could be seen among the Nairs of Kerala. And this practice is also visible among the Kasis. Kasi family is also a matriarchal family where the female take all the responsibilities, more especially economic responsibilities of the family. Then patriarchal family. Patriarchal family is a family where the male are considered as the head of the family, and even the property rights are vested with the male members of the family rather than the female members of the family. Then on the basis of the structure and depth of generations, structure and depth of generations, family can be classified into two types. That is a nuclear family, then the joint or extended family or undivided family. Nuclear family means wife, husband, and with or without children. That is called nuclear family. Generally, nuclear family constitute of wife, husband, and their unmarried children. That is called nuclear family. Then joint family means the persons belonging to 2 to 3 generations living under one roof with a common kitchen, common culture, common worshipping pattern, and common property. That is called joint family. So as far as a joint family is concerned, the most important features are that persons belonging to 2 to 3 generations, maybe even 4 generations, living under one roof. That means living in one house and with the common property. This is very important. So that means the property is under the control of the head of the household. That is why in Indian society, the joint family system among the Hindus is known as Hindu undivided family, HUF. So, joint family system is one of the unique characteristic of Indian society. Then joint family could be a patriarchal joint family or matriarchal joint family. Patriarchal joint family means where the male is considered, the eldest male member is considered as the head of the household. That's called Karta. And the property rights are vested with the male members of the family. But whereas the matriarchal joint family is concerned, the female is considered, the eldest female member of the joint family is considered as the head of the household, and such family is known as the matriarchal joint family. For example, Nairs also have the matriarchal joint family, and in many other societies we can see the patriarchal joint family. Then on the basis of the nature of relations among the family members, the family can be classified into two main types. One is conjugal family, which consists of adult members among whom there exists sex relationship, and a consanguine family, or it is also known as consanguineous family, which consists of members among whom there exists what is known as blood relationship only. Let me clarify this. Conjugal family means where wife and husband with or without children, that is called conjugal family. So the conjugal relationship is nothing but the biological relationship between the uh, male and female. So in a conjugal family, both the wife and husband, they live together. But whereas in a consanguineous family, we can see only the blood relatives. That means simply we can call it as a single parent family. For example, uh, in the context of divorce or social separation or legal separation, or sometimes due to the death of one of the spouse, means the death of the husband or wife, that results into a single parent family. That means if at all the wife and husband have children, suppose let us imagine that husband has died or they have taken divorce, then if the children live with their mother, then mother and her children. So the relationship between the mother and children is consanguineous relationship. That is blood relationship, and such family is known as consanguineous family. And let us imagine that the children are living with father in the absence of mother. Then, as I said, if the mother has died or the mother has taken divorce from her husband, and where the children live with the father, then father and children, that is also a consanguineous family. So like that, we can observe both the conjugal family as well as consanguineous families. Then in Indian context, broadly, we have a matriarchal family and also the patriarchal family. So let me briefly discuss about what exactly meant by matriarchal family and patriarchal family. The matriarchal family is also known as the mother centered or mother dominated family. Here, the mother or the woman is the head of the family and she exercises authority. She is the owner of the property and the manager of the household. All the other members are subordinate to her. That means, generally, in a matriarchal family system, the mother, and if it is a joint family, the eldest female member of the family is considered as the head of the household. So, on the basis of some studies, now it is known that matriarchal families are found among uh, many communities across the world. And some of the best examples are Eskimos, then Malaya Islanders, then Odama Indians, Labrador Indians, Trobriand Islanders, the American Iroquois. So these are uh, the examples from the global society. So like Eskimos, Malay Islanders, Odama Indians, Labrador Indians, and Trobriand Islanders. These are the examples uh, from outside India. But in Indian context, the Khasi tribals of India, then Nayars in Kerala, they practice this matriarchy or matriarchal family system. So these two are the examples from Indian context. Then what are the characteristics of matriarchal family? So when we talk about the matriarchal family system, we need to focus on these points. Number one, descent, inheritance, and succession. Here, the descent is traced through the mother. Descent means what? Descent means tracing our origin, where from we have originated, and we have many of our ancestors. So, if we try to identify ourselves from through our ancestors, through the female members of the family, and more specifically through mother, that is called matriarchal family or matrilineal family. Matriarchal and matrilineal family. So, hence, it is matrilineal in descent. Daughters inherit the property of the mother. As I told you, among Nayars in a Noir family, the property is transferred from the mother to the daughter, not to the sons. And sons do not have any property right. Then, in a matriarchal family system, it is the daughters who succeed their mother and not the sons. The status of the children is mostly decided by the status of the mother. That means the children are identified with the mother, not with the father. Then, matrilocal residence. Matriarchal family is also matrilocal in residence. After the marriage, the wife stays back in her mother's house. The husband, who normally stays in his sister's house, pays occasional visits to the wife's house. He is treated as a privileged visitor. So this practice could be seen again among Noirs. In a Noir family, the husband is considered as a privileged visitor. So he is given only secondary position. Sex relations between husband and wife tend to be very loose, and both may often develop extramarital sex relations. So this is possible. Then exercise of power. Who exercise power? In a matriarchal family system, the mother exercises authority and power in the matriarchal family. She is the head of the family and her decisions are final. But in practice, some relative of the mother, mostly her brother, exercises authority in the family and looks after property. For example, among the Malay people, the wife's brother exercises authority in the family, and among the Labrador Indian, the wife's father manages the household. So that means each matriarchal family system, they have the different types of practices, but on the whole, it is the female members of the family who exercise power over the family affairs. Then the structure of the family. The maternal family brings together the kinsmen, like the wife, her mother and grandmother, her children and brothers, etc., and welds them together into a powerful group. This type of family is normally associated with exogamy. That means uh, generally the persons belonging to one particular family are supposed to marry from completely different family. That's why this family is known as an exogamous family. Then, as I said, the family constitute of the relatives from the mother side, but not from the father side. And as I told you, like mother, then her mother, that is grandmother, great grandmother, then their children, all of them constitute of the family. So this is called the matriarchal family system. Then patriarchal family system is opposite to the matriarchal family system. The patriarchal family is also known as father centered or father dominated family. Here, the father or the eldest male member of the family is considered as the head of the family and he exercises authority. He is the owner and administrator of the family. So, on all family matters, his is the final voice and opinion. Then, now let us see what are the specific characteristics of the patriarchal family. Like as I told you, descent, inheritance, and succession. These three are through the male line, that is through father. So that means the descent and inheritance and succession is traced through the male line, through the father, not through the mother. So the children are recognized as the children of the father and the mother is practically ignored. So this is one. And secondly, residence, patriarchal family is patrilocal in residence. As far as a patriarchal family is concerned, after marriage, women is supposed to live with her husband and other members of the husband's family if it is a joint family. So, under this system, it is the male members who exercise power. And as far as the property rights are concerned, the property right is vested with the male members of the family rather than the female members. Then, authority. Here, the father or the eldest male member of the family is the dominant person. All the members are subordinated to him. He dictates terms for other members. All the major decisions pertaining to the family affairs are taken by him, taken by the eldest male member of the family only. Nobody has authority to question him. He is the owner and the manager of the family property. So, like that, the in a patriarchal family system, it is the male who exercises power and authority over the rest of the members of the family. At present, both matriarchal and patriarchal families have largely diminished. In their place, egalitarian or equalitarian families are emerging. That means we can't say that a particular family is completely matriarchal or completely patriarchal, because today the democratic values have intruded into the family system due to the impact of modernization, industrialization, urbanization, globalization. The family system has undergone change. And today, most of the families are nuclear families. The number of joint families have reduced when compared to the past. Then the modern family has been mostly democratized. So, the modern family is a democratic family where every individual have the right to take part in the decision making process in the family system. So, therefore, we can call it as the present modern family can be called as an egalitarian family or equalitarian family or a democratic family, where all the family members, including father, mother, and children, enjoy the same kind of rights, and they enjoy equal status and opportunities. And such kind of families are emerging. And most of the families in the industrial societies are equalitarian families. They are often called modern families or nuclear families or neo-local families, enjoying the equal rights and equal opportunities. Then, in this context, uh, uh, we can say that apart from this patriarchal family, matriarchal family, joint family, and we have a nuclear family system. So, the nuclear family is a universal family system. Now, it is a universal social phenomena. A nuclear family is a family where wife, husband, and their unmarried children living together. And such family is known as a nuclear family. And nowadays, many joint families have disintegrated, and out of that, nuclear families are emerging. And today, the needs of the family members are fulfilled in nuclear family rather than in joint families. And because of various factors, the joint families have been disintegrated. And the present youth, the modern youth, they prefer to have nuclear families rather than the joint families. And nuclear families are largely the independent families, and they are exposed to the modern value system, modern culture, and modern occupations. So, therefore, keeping this in view, Talcott Parsons, an American sociologist, has introduced a concept called isolated nuclear family. This concept, known as what? Isolated nuclear family. This concept has been introduced by Talcott Parsons. This isolated nuclear family means where the wife and husband, with or without children, establish their family elsewhere, and mostly they are migrated to a different place, maybe sometimes within the country, sometimes even outside the country, and they are away from their family of orientation. Family of orientation means the family in which they have born. So, therefore, the isolated nuclear families are away from the kinship networks, they are away from their relatives. So, that is why these isolated nuclear family develop a more emotional bondage among themselves, by because they live in a new social and economic environment. So these kind of new family systems are emerging in modern world. So these are certain important points related to the family system, and uh, all these points are useful for both civil services examination as well as the APPSC and TGPSC Group 1 and Group 2 examination. Thank you.